You may have noticed I'm calling the broadcast podcast shorts. I've gotten some feedback that it's sometimes difficult to find the time to listen to the entire airing, or maybe you may just be interested in but one of the topics. So I've decided to split them up and release them individually as shorts. On this episode of the Common Constitutionalist Podcast Shorts, I discuss the sudden shift of the Saudis from opposition to support of the Iran nuclear deal, just how many trees are on the planet, and the jailing of Kentucky clerk Kim Davis. Is this justice or persecution? Today on the Common Constitutionalist.
You're listening to the Common Constitutionalist, broadcasting from an undisclosed location, free from the prying eyes of establishment black
So, supporters of the Iran nuclear bogus deal say that if we don't do the deal, Iran and Saudi Arabia will somehow accelerate their arms race. But for the longest time, the Saudis have been in opposition to the Iran nuke deal, and everybody thought it was obvious as to why. Still seems obvious as to why they would be in opposition. And I think it came down to the late King Abdullah bin al-Aziz whatever the heck his name was. But the King, Abdullah, he, I believe, was against this deal from word go, and up until the time he died was against this deal. But now this new king has taken over, and due to Obama's full court press to get this the Saudis on board, the king has relented, apparently, and as they have suddenly changed their minds, and they're all for the deal. Whoa. And I guess the Obama administration has basically thrown everything they got at the Saudis. Back in July, Secretary of Defense Ash Carter met with the Saudi royal family to discuss the deal. And now Saudi Foreign Minister Adel al-Jubeir said Obama had assured the Saudi king that the agreement prevents Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. Gee, where have we heard that before? And it also includes inspections of military and suspected sites. Sure, no it doesn't. And has a provision for the snapback of sanctions if Iran violates the agreement, which they will, and no it won't. They will violate the agreement, and there won't be any snapback of this deal, no matter what happens. There won't be. Frankly, if they nuked Jerusalem, I still don't think that Obama would do anything. But, maybe I embellish a bit, but probably just a bit. So from the Jerusalem Post, they write that Saudi Arabia is now satisfied with assurances from U.S. President Barack Hussein Obama. I added the Hussein. About the Iran nuclear deal, and believes the agreement will contribute to the security and stability in the Middle East, a senior Saudi official said on Friday. My heavens. This guy, al-Jubeir, Adel al-Jubeir, the Saudi foreign minister, said, you ready for this one? Now we have one less problem for the time being to deal with. Yeah, for like the next day and a half. To deal with. In regards to Iran, al-Jubeir said, we can now focus more intensely on the nefarious activities that Iran is engaged in the region. Like the proxy war run by Iran in Yemen with the Houthi rebels. You mean that one? Because that's the only one you're concerned with. I guarantee you that this is what it's all about. That and weapons. And military aid and intelligence. So basically we're going to be giving the Saudis on a silver platter, everything they want, as long as they go along with this deal. That was the sign-on. Do I have any proof of this? No, I do not have any proof of this, but I'll guarantee you that in the dark crevices of the White House or wherever the heck they met, I'll guarantee you that's the deal. Guarantee you. So what do the Saudis get? What do you think they're going to get? Well, they're going to get lots of weapons. They're going to get lots of aid and military support. As a matter of fact, they are already in advanced discussions. Let's see, Jerusalem Post writes, they're in advanced discussions with the U.S. government about buying 2 frigates based on a coastal warship that Lockheed Martin is building for the U.S. Navy, a deal valued at well over a billion dinero. That's dollars for you folks that don't know. I think it's dinero. I don't even know. Whatever. It's $1. $1 billion, dagnammit. Let's see. What else? Well, the U.S. will continue sending billions of dollars worth of weapons to Saudi Arabia and would continue to act as a guarantee of the Saudi state, of the guarantor of the Saudi state. And if you recall, 3 years ago, the Saudi Arabian deal with the U.S. was over $60 billion. It's the biggest region-wide arms deal ever in history. Not region-wide. It's the biggest arms deal in the history of the world, period. And like I said, Obama, as long as he gets the green light from, as long as he gets cooperation from the Saudis, basically Obama is probably given the green light to the Saudis to do pretty much anything they like in the region. And they'll be, as long as they support the deal, we'll support them, no matter what they end up doing. And then there's the proxy war between the Saudis and the Iranian proxies in Yemen, the Houthi rebels that Iran is backing. And it's gotten very little press, and I wonder why. It goes down to the massive amounts of civilian casualties that have been generated through this war, and not all of them has been by the Houthi rebels. A lot has been caused by Saudi airstrikes that just kind of, well, they're like the war. I don't know if they're precision munitions, but they don't appear to be very precise unless, of course, the Saudis intend to kill women and children. Maybe that's what they do. I don't know. And the Obama water carriers and the press are hesitant to cover this because of the slaughter of civilians in Yemen. And we've got our fingerprints all over this thing. So far, more than 6,000 civilians have been killed or maimed due to the fighting to date, and millions more without food and water and medical aid. And to that, who's this guy? Jeffrey Prescott, the National Security Council's senior director for the Middle East, during a White House press conference said, "We're deeply concerned about, in particular, the deteriorating humanitarian crisis in Yemen." No, you're not. But I digress. He also goes on to say, that includes a call on all parties to use restraint in terms of the targeting of civilians and civilian infrastructure. Oh, so they're targeting civilians. And he's not just talking about the Houthis. This is the Saudis that are targeting civilians also. They may not mean to, but they're bombing, their airstrikes are taking out civilians too. And we are not going to do a darn thing to stop it. Quite the opposite, actually. So as the civilian casualties continue to mount in Yemen. Now, did you know this? The Pentagon has more than doubled the 20 U.S. open quote advisors, close quote. It provides Saudi Arabia to assist with advance of, what the heck is the problem here? Assist with enhanced intelligence for airstrikes. Were any of you even aware that we had quote-unquote advisors, military advisors, helping the Saudis in Yemen? I didn't know that. I haven't really paid a lot of attention to the Yemenis crisis or the proxy war between the two countries, but I didn't realize that we, the United States, have military advisors. That's code for special forces, but guys. These guys are probably not civilian advisors. These guys are military special forces. And this stuff goes virtually unreported because they're all working behind the scenes, and Obama knows he's got to dangle these carrots out. He's got to support the Saudis with whatever they decide to do in the region as a direct competitor to Iran. Both of these countries are trying to take over the region. The Saudis haven't really done much lately because it hasn't been politically correct to do so. But with this Iran deal, and with Iran going nuts, with ISIS going nuts, and Al-Qaeda's still out there, and all these other factions are still out there, the al-Nusra Front and all this other crap going on, I think the Saudis are striking while the iron's hot, so to speak, and they're going to sow their wild oats in the region in direct competition with Iran to be the big man on campus in the Middle East, so to speak. And they've taken this opportunity to have the Obama administration roll over on their behalf to support them in whatever endeavors they care for in return for their cooperation on the Iranian deal. And that's the way it is. It's quid pro quo. Man, what the heck's wrong with me? Quid pro quo all the way, baby.